Okay, for science today we're going to move on to what about viruses? So some of you have been asking questions about viruses since we started, and so we're going to do some investigating around viruses, what they are, what makes them different, are they living, are they non-living? Um, so this is going to be multiple days. It's 7 parts. So it's going to be, some will be faster than others, but it's not going to be a super quick lesson, but I'd say maybe 2 days. So, part one, you are going to read a bunch of statements and decide from your background knowledge without doing any further learning whether you believe it's true or false, and you're going to place an X in one of the two columns. It's not for any other purpose other than to see what you already know and then see if you maybe change your mind about some of your answers by the end of the doc. So there are 10 of them, so make sure that you're reading them carefully and thinking about what you think. It's not about what somebody else thinks, what you think, and you're going to place an X in one of the columns. And then you're just going to make a prediction about how many you think out of the 10 do you think that you have correct. All right, part two, you're going to be watching this Introduction to Cells with the Amoeba Sisters video. This is going to review some things, but there's also some new information in it as well. There are some questions for you to answer. Make sure that you're answering them based on what's in the video, not based on your background knowledge. So we have learned about differences between living and non-living things. So I don't want you to answer this from your background knowledge. I want you to answer it based on how they explain it in the video. Part three, you're going to make a prediction. So you're going to use everything that you've learned about cells and illnesses up to this point to complete the prediction questions about bacteria and viruses. So from your background knowledge, what do antibiotics do? And I want more than they make you feel better. I want you to think about, what do you think they do to make you feel better? What is happening inside of your body when you take an antibiotic that is causing you to feel better? Then what you're going to do is you're going to double click these boxes and you are going to draw what you think a virus looks like, being as detailed as you can in your drawing. And then you're going to do the same thing for a bacteria. Okay, so when you double click on these, I want you to use the Tools tab. So if you click on the Tools tab, it's going to give you a drawing feature over here. So you can draw. It's going to give you the option to have a pen, a marker. You're probably not going to want highlighter. You can change the colors. You can change the weight or the transparency of the line. You can put sticky notes in there. You can add shapes, text boxes if you're trying to label things. I don't want you to only use shapes. I want you to draw freehand in some capacity. And then just make sure that you hit save. And then there are a couple of questions. How do viruses and bacteria copy themselves? Meaning, how do they reproduce or make more of themselves? And then you're going to create a hypothesis. And remember, a hypothesis is an educated scientific guess. If it blank, then it is a virus, and if it blank, then it is a bacteria. So you're trying to figure out what differentiates the difference between a bacteria and a virus. What do you think it is that makes them different from each other? My guess is that you may not get further than this. If you do get into part four, there is a video, Bacteria versus Viruses. This gentleman is British, I believe, so he does have a little bit of an accent, but he does a really good job of comparing bacteria and viruses to real world things, which makes it a little bit easier to understand. But if you miss any of the questions, you may have to go back and re-listen. And there are quite a few of them, so I don't anticipate that you will get further than that today. So I'm not even going to talk about further because you'll finish this up hopefully on Tuesday. So you're working independently, you're focused, you're not out of your seat, you're not asking to use the bathroom, you're not going to fill water bottles, you're not talking to the person next to you. If you don't have headphones, you are watching your video at a reasonable volume so that you're not bothering other people. Go Guardian is going, so don't be thinking that you're being sneaky, because you're not. Do what you need to do so that you're not sitting for recess finishing your science.